The lunch tray hit the cafeteria floor with a crash that silenced 200 teenagers. But it wasn't the spilled food that made my hands shake. It was knowing that in 30 seconds I'd either become Lincoln High's biggest victim or its unlikeliest hero. That moment in October would change everything, but to understand why Maya Thompson went from invisible bookworm to viral sensation, you need to know about the summer that forged her and the boy whose tears started a war he couldn't win. Maya had always been good at disappearing. In a school of 1,500 students, she'd perfected the art of moving through hallways like smoke, keeping her head down, her voice soft, her presence minimal. It was safer that way. Being noticed at Lincoln High meant being sorted, labeled, judged. And for a 16-year-old black girl who preferred library corners to lunch tables, invisibility felt like armor. But armor, she would learn, could become a prison. The call came on the last day of sophomore year. Maya was cleaning out her locker when her phone buzzed. Her mother's voice, usually so strong, sounded paper thin. "Baby, I need you to sit down." The words that followed oncologist stage 3 aggressive treatment blurred together like watercolors in rain. Within a week, Maya was on a Greyhound to Detroit, heading to stay with an aunt she barely knew, while her mother began a different kind of fight. Sergeant Angela Thompson lived in a converted warehouse in Corktown. The building's first floor housed Warriors Path Dojo. The second floor was home. "Your mama didn't tell you what I do," Angela said, as she showed Maya to a small room with a cot and a punching bag. 8 years Marine Corps, 2 tours in Afghanistan. Now I teach people to fight." Angela studied her niece with eyes that had seen too much. "You look soft." It wasn't an insult, just an observation. "That's going to change." The first morning, Angela woke her at 5. "Punch it," Angela commanded. Maya threw a weak jab. "That how you going to fight cancer? That how you going to stand up when life kicks you down?" Angela moved behind her, adjusting her stance. "Your mama's fighting for her life. Least you can do is learn to fight for yours." By the end of the first week, Maya's knuckles were raw, her muscles screaming. "Karate isn't about hurting people," Angela explained. "It's about knowing you can change how you walk, how you stand, how you exist in space. Nobody messes with someone who knows their own power." The training intensified. Morning runs through empty Detroit streets. Afternoon forms in the dojo. Evening sparring with advanced students who didn't pull punches just because she was 16. "Pain is a teacher," Angela said. "It shows you what you're made of." July bled into August. Maya's body changed, muscles appearing where softness used to live, reflexes sharpening, movements becoming fluid and precise. But more than that, something inside shifted. The girl who used to flinch at raised voices now met eyes directly. The shoulders that once curved inward now squared naturally. Her mother noticed during a video call. "You look different, baby. Stronger." The last week of summer, Angela introduced weapons training. "Most dangerous person in a fight is the one who thinks they're weak," she explained. "They get desperate. Do stupid things. You're not weak anymore. Don't forget that." But Maya did feel weak when she boarded the bus back to Lincoln, leaving her transformed body's confidence in Detroit. She pulled on her old invisibility like a familiar hoodie. First day of junior year. Same hallways, same faces, same social hierarchies as rigid as military rank. Maya slipped back into her spot near the bottom, unnoticed and unbothered. She made it 3 days. Wednesday afternoon, Maya stayed late in the library. The building was nearly empty when she finally packed up, taking a shortcut past the athletic wing. The sound stopped her, a raw animal noise echoing from the weight room. Someone breaking. Maya should have kept walking, but Aunt Angela's voice whispered, "A warrior doesn't turn away from suffering." She peered through the door's small window. Tyler Morrison, golden boy, quarterback, son of coaching royalty, was destroying a punching bag. Not training, destroying. His face was wet with tears and snot. "Never good enough," he screamed. "Nothing I do is ever good enough for you." His fist connected wrong, and he howled, cradling his hand. Then he collapsed the 6 feet 2 inches pillar of Lincoln High's social structure, crying like the broken boy he really was. Maya stepped back, but her sneakers squeaked on the polished floor. Tyler's head snapped up. Their eyes met through the glass, his red and wild, hers wide with the terrible intimacy of witnessing someone's private apocalypse. She ran, but not fast enough to miss the fear in his eyes morphing into something dangerous. Tyler Morrison couldn't afford to be human. Not when his father had planned his life since birth. Coach Morrison didn't raise softs. So what if Mom left when Tyler was 10? So what if Tyler threw up before every game, anxiety eating him alive? None of that mattered. What mattered was that Maya Thompson, nobody Maya, had seen him see or why Thursday morning. Tyler had convinced himself she'd tell everyone. By Thursday afternoon, he decided to make sure nobody would believe her if she did. It started small. A shoulder check in the hallway hard enough to send her books flying. Friday brought escalation. Her lunch tray knocked from her hands. Chocolate milk exploding across her shirt. Maya said nothing, did nothing. But Tyler mistook restraint for weakness. Monday morning, 6th period. AP History with Ms. Williams. Tyler sat 3 rows back with Jake Matthews and Connor Price. They'd been passing notes, snickering, building to something. "Yo, Maya." Tyler's voice cut through the classroom murmur. "Heard you've been spreading rumors about me." Maya didn't turn. "I haven't talked to anyone about anything." Before she could react, Tyler grabbed the hem of her skirt and yanked it up, exposing her underwear to the entire class. The laughter was immediate and cruel. Camera phones captured her humiliation. Maya froze, not from shock, but from the effort of not breaking Tyler's arm in 3 places. Mrs. Williams finally turned around. "Settle down, everyone, back to your seats." As if nothing had happened, Maya sat through the remaining 20 minutes. When the bell rang, Maya was first out the door. She made it to the bathroom before the tears came, not from humiliation, but from rage. Pure volcanic rage. Zoe Chen found her there. "I saw the whole thing," Zoe said. They'd been lab partners since freshman year. "It's already online." Tyler posted it. "You should report him. That's sexual harassment. You know what happens to snitches at this school. Besides, his dad owns this place." "So what are you going to do?" Maya stood, studied her reflection. "I'm going to remember that patience is a warrior's greatest weapon. And then I'm going to wait." That night, Maya went down to the basement where her father's old heavy bag hung. She taped her hands properly. Then she began to hit. Not wild emotional swings. Controlled, precise, devastating. Each punch was a promise. "Pain is a teacher," she whispered. "Question is, what's it teaching me?" The answer came as she climbed the stairs. Some people only understood one language, and thanks to Aunt Angela, Maya was now fluent. Wednesday brought confirmation. Zoe overheard Jake in the lunch line. "Tyler's got something bigger planned. Says he's going to make that girl transfer schools." "When?" "Monday in the cafeteria, maximum audience." Maya nodded unsurprised. She called Angela that night. "How's training? Might need to use it soon. You remember what I taught you about fighting? It's not about hurting people. It's about knowing you can. Lesson 2 is sometimes you got to remind folks that knowing and doing ain't that far apart. Whatever happens, baby girl, you remember a warrior's greatest victory is making sure the battle never happens again." Sunday night, she stood before her closet. The baggy hoodies called to her. But invisibility hadn't protected her. She pulled out fitted jeans. A simple t-shirt that showed the definition in her arms. Not provocative, just present, visible, real. "You sure about this?" her mother asked, sensing something. I'm sure that I'm proud of you. Thompson women don't start fights. But we damn sure finished them, her mother completed. Monday morning arrived crisp and clear. Maya walked through the front door's different spine, straight eyes forward. Students noticed, whispers followed. The invisible girl had become visible. The cafeteria at Lincoln High was designed like a coliseum. 500 students could pack in, voices bouncing off cinder block walls. Maya entered at exactly 12:15, tray in hand, moving with purpose. Tyler was already in position, holding court at the prime center table. When he saw Maya, his face split into a predator's grin. She sat down, began eating her sandwich, calm, steady, waiting. Zoe slid in beside her. You don't have to do this. We could leave. No, there's not. Tyler stood. The cafeteria noise dipped. He sauntered over. Yo, Maya. His voice boomed. Heard you're wearing granny panties again today. Laughter rippled through the cafeteria. Maya took another bite of her sandwich. I asked you a question, he said, reaching for her skirt. Maybe we should check. The world shifted into slow motion. Maya saw his hand coming. She felt the calm center Angela had taught her to find. Tyler's fingers brushed fabric. Maya moved. Her hand intercepted his wrist with the precision of 3 months' muscle memory. She used his momentum against him. Her grip on his wrist was iron. Tyler's body followed his arm, and suddenly the golden boy was airborne. The cafeteria erupted as Tyler Morrison hit the linoleum hard. 500 teenagers gasped in perfect unison. But Maya wasn't done. Jake lunged from the left. Maya pivoted. Her palm struck his solar plexus with surgical precision. As he doubled over, she swept his legs and Jake joined Tyler on the floor. Connor came from behind, trying to grab her in a bear hug. Maya dropped her weight, slipping down through his grasp. She drove her elbow back into his stomach and executed a textbook hip throw. 30 seconds. 3 football players down, 1 girl standing. The cafeteria was silent as a cathedral. Maya straightened her shirt, picked up her fallen sandwich, and took another bite. My underwear, she said, voice carrying in the silence, is none of your business. Neither is how I shop, where I walk, or what I see. Are we clear? The side door opened. Coach Morrison entered, his face purple with rage. Behind him, Principal Roberts followed. She attacked my son? Coach Morrison's voice boomed. This girl assaulted 3 members of my team. You're done at this school. Coach Morrison. Principal Roberts' voice cut through his tirade. I'll handle this. Everyone involved my office now. Principal Roberts sat behind her desk, laptop open, security footage paused on the screen. I've reviewed the footage from today, from last Monday, from the previous Friday. Would anyone like to explain what I'm looking at? The video showed Tyler lifting Maya's skirt. We were just playing around, Tyler mumbled. Playing? Is that what you call sexual assault? Sexual assault. Coach Morrison exploded. Boys will be boys. No. The principal's voice cracked like a whip. I have 2 weeks of systematic harassment documented here. And today, when Mr. Morrison attempted to repeat his sexual assault, Ms. Thompson defended herself with remarkable restraint. Where did you learn to do that? My aunt? She runs a dojo in Detroit. And in all your training, did she teach you to attack people? No, ma'am. She taught me to defend myself when attacked. You're suspended for 2 weeks. You're removed from the football team effective immediately. You can't do that. Coach Morrison slammed his hand on the desk. I can and I will. And if you continue to interfere, Coach, I'll recommend the board review your own position. Ms. Thompson, are you planning to press charges? No. I just wanted it to stop for everyone. This video is going to go viral. Maybe it needs to be out there. Maybe people need to see that fighting back is possible. By the time Maya left the office, the video had already hit social media. News outlets were calling. The next 2 weeks passed in a blur. Interview requests poured in, but she declined them all. Students treated Maya differently now, not with fear, but with respect. Girls approached her in the hallway, sharing their own stories. Mrs. Williams apologized, tears in her eyes. I should have stopped it. The school implemented new policies, zero tolerance for harassment. But the biggest change was in the students themselves. The rigid hierarchy that had allowed Tyler to terrorize with impunity began to crumble. 3 weeks after the cafeteria incident, Maya was studying in the library when Tyler sat down across from her. "Don't call security," he said quickly. "I needed to talk to you." "You have 2 minutes." Tyler nodded. "I'm sorry. Not the apology my lawyer wrote. I'm actually sorry." "For which part?" "The sexual assault, the harassment, trying to destroy my life because I saw you being human. All of it. You saw me when nobody's supposed to see that. My dad doesn't believe in weakness." "That's an explanation, not an excuse." "I know. I just wanted you to know that I get it now. What you did, you broke something that needed breaking. My suspension ends next week. I'm not coming back to Lincoln. Dad's sending me to military school." "Tyler," Maya called. "Get therapy. Real therapy. Deal with your pain before you spread it to anyone else. Maybe at military school, I'll find my own Aunt Angela." Her phone buzzed. A text from Aunt Angela. "Heard you've been making waves. Proud of you, baby girl. Got a business proposition. Lots of girls asking about self-defense classes, interested in teaching." That weekend, Maya drove to Detroit. The dojo was packed with teenage girls and their mothers. "Everyone," Angela announced. "This is my niece, Maya." "We're not here to learn to fight," Maya began. "We're here to learn that we can, to know it in our bones. We're here because knowing you can defend yourself changes everything. What if we're not strong enough?" Maya smiled. "Strength isn't about size. It's about believing you deserve to take up space, to be safe, to be respected. By spring, the Girls Fight Back Club had chapters in 6 Detroit schools. Principal Roberts invited Maya to help establish one at Lincoln High. The first meeting drew over 100 students. "Today, we start with stance and breathing. But what we're really learning is that we matter, that our safety matters." As Maya began the first lesson, she caught a glimpse through the window. Tyler watching from across the street. He raised a hand, not in threat, but in acknowledgement, then walked away. The school year ended with Lincoln High reporting a 70% decrease in harassment incidents. Maya received a full scholarship to Michigan for leadership and community impact. At graduation, Principal Roberts asked Maya to speak. 9 months ago, someone tried to humiliate me. They thought I was weak because I was quiet. They were wrong. Fighting back isn't just about the moment you defend yourself. It's about what you do after. It's about making sure the next quiet kid doesn't have to fight alone. We all have power. Sometimes it takes someone else showing theirs to help us find our own. So to anyone out there who feels invisible, who thinks they have to accept being hurt, you do matter. Your safety matters. Your dignity matters. And if anyone tries to tell you otherwise, she smiled, you know what to do. 6 months later, a package arrived at her University of Michigan dorm. Inside was a letter and a photo showing Tyler teaching self-defense to younger cadets. Maya started a program here called Real Strength, teaching guys that protecting others is better than hurting them. It's a start. Thank you for breaking me that day. I needed to shatter before I could rebuild into someone better. Maya smiled. Outside her window, she could see girls walking across campus with their heads high, refusing to be invisible. Her phone buzzed. Zoe had sent a link to her documentary. The title made her laugh. visible how one lunch tray changed everything. Maya typed back, "It wasn't the lunch tray. It was deciding I mattered enough to protect." She pulled out her biochemistry textbook. Pre-med was no joke. But Maya Thompson had learned something valuable in a high school cafeteria on an October Monday. She had everything she needed. She always had. And now she was making sure no one else would have to be broken to find their strength. One lesson, one girl, one moment of courage at a time. The revolution began with refusing to let go of your lunch tray. Everything else followed.